Hey folks, happy Friday. Welcome to Advisory. We did it. We made it to Friday. Congrats on making it through yet another week. You know, we are getting close here to the end of the school year. It's going to be here before we know it, but right now I know because I can tell in myself and everyone that I see when I walk the halls is that everyone is very tired. We've been doing this year a long time. We've been in the same classes, doing the same things for a long time. We have testing coming up, which is very stressful for everybody. And something I've noticed overall is just a general increase of the sense of crankiness. Not everybody, okay? But generally speaking, it seems to me, and this is not, I have no scientific data to back this up, seems to me that things are just getting a little cranky out there. And it's understandable. This is always a very hard part of the year. It seems like things are ending too quickly and things are going too fast, and also that they are never going to end, and that summer is way far down the line. I want to draw special attention to the conflicts that happen between adults and teenagers. When the stress of school builds up, this tension happens most visibly. And a lot of arguments that I see or hear about between adults and teenagers often come from a perceived lack of understanding from the other person. If you're a teenager, you think that adults don't really understand what you're going through, why you're acting the way that you're acting, or what's going on in your life. If you're an adult, especially a teacher, you probably have this thought that these teenagers don't really get what's going on. They don't see a bigger picture, or they don't see what I'm trying to do, or that I have the best intentions. And it all comes from this lack of understanding. And it is that sense of understanding that I want to build with this video. I want to show you the interviews that I did this week. I asked teenagers, what do you wish adults would know or remember about what it's like to be a teenager? And I asked adults, what do you wish that teenagers knew about what it's like to be an adult or a teacher? And I would encourage you, if you are an adult listening to this video right now, really listen closely to what the teenagers are saying in these interviews. And I would encourage, if you are a teenager, if you're a student listening to this video right now, when the adults talk on these interviews, listen to what they have to say and try to understand things from their perspective. So let's go to those answers now. So what do you wish adults knew or remembered about what it's like to be a teenager?
I wish that they know that this isn't the old times, it's 2023, and people are more accepting and more like knowing of what others are going through. And yeah. Also, vote Damo for prom king 2023. Yeah.
Schoolwork is like then like having to get a job like at the same time, and then like it's so much pressure like on just you, especially like if you're the oldest, because you have to lead an example for like your siblings and stuff. You know.
Sure.
I wish like they would kind of like understand like sometimes with curricular activities it could be stressful, and then like they should kind of like understand like us kids and our true feelings and emotions, how we feel about certain stuff, and hear us out instead of throwing the narrative of their adult.
I need to like read my question in Spanish. Hang on.
Oh, you're gonna answer.
¿Qué te gustaría que los adultos supieran sobre lo que es ser un adolescente?
Okay. Por ejemplo, yo soy primera generación en mi familia y ser buen líder para mis hermanos es like una presión muy grande. Y eso es una cosa que los adultos deben recordar, que ser la primera generación o ser un estudiante en high school no es nada fácil.
I'm gonna answer in English though.
That's fine.
I think they should remember like the peer pressure we feel about fitting in with our peers. Like we do a lot of dumb decisions, but it's mostly to like fit in. And I know like, well, based off of my parents, I know my mom's told me about some dumb things she does, but I feel like sometimes it's like a double standard when it comes to their kids. But I just wish they would remember like everybody feels a lot of pressure to just fit in with the people around us.
I wish that they would remember the like wanting to be like have their freedom, because sometimes parents especially think kids need to be on a set exact amount of rules and like they need to follow certain things, but they don't allow their kids to have like a certain amount of freedom. And so that allows the children to rebel more than what they should, because they don't have like the correct teaching and they don't have the correct like guidance to be safe while rebelling in a way.
Nice. Beautifully done. And cool glasses, by the way.
Something that I wish adults knew, especially my parents, that like online games are online, so you can't like pause an online game. I just wish they understood that. You know?
Right.
Usually when you go to some places, you usually go with your family, but when you start to grow up and become independent, you start going alone and stuff.
Be understanding about stuff that the teenagers go through and stuff. Like we still learning about certain stuff, still trying to get knowledge about certain stuff, still trying to figure out life and stuff. So she would just try to be understanding and shit, just help us to be better. Stuff.
Still got a long way to go, don't we?
What? As teenagers, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are not adults yet, so we still haven't learned life lessons or, like important things about life.
Yeah.
We're not there like adults. They know more. They know what's right and wrong. We're still kind of like kids, but older and a little bit more smart.
You're just figuring it out.
Yeah, we're still figuring things out.
Okay, so lo que yo pienso es que nosotros también tenemos la vida difícil como ellos, también tenemos drama en la escuela y aunque nosotros no lo queramos, pues like pasa.
That we're also growing into adults and learning how to be ourselves, so they should cut us some slack and be patient. It's a new generation. This ain't back in the 50s or 19 something.
How old do you think we are?
School's different for the kids, for the teenagers, because they experience some things that the teachers back then ain't experienced. So it's like, it's like a new generation, yeah.
I feel like our mindsets are different now, and they putting us through more trauma than what we already been through growing up. So.
That they've already lived their life, and they should let us live our life because it's our chapter and it's our life. They're not living our life, so they've already lived theirs. Let us live ours.
Anything else?
My name is Michaela Garza for Prom Queen.
All right, what do you wish that adults knew about what it's like to be a teenager?
Mood swings. A lot of teenagers around this age have mood swings.
Yeah.
Most kids are introverts, so they don't really like hanging around people, so don't try to force them.
I think they should remember that we're still teens, not adults, and that we're able to make mistakes from that. And as a teenager, we have to make mistakes so we can learn and improve in life. And they're always telling us that your time is up and you're gonna be an adult the next day. So let us live the time that we have right now and let us do what we do. And I know that not a lot of us do the best decisions and the best things in life, but most of us actually care about our future. So rather than trying to scaring us by saying, oh, you're going to graduate tomorrow, help us and tell us how do we get prepared for the future.
Absolutely.
How do we get prepared for the real world and to face the challenges that we're going to face once we step out of high school.
Okay, so what do you wish the teenagers would know about what it's like to be an adult or a teacher or both?
I think it's important that they know that we come with the best intention of having a good day. We don't want to cause anyone to have a bad day, and we don't want anyone to cause us to have a bad day. This is our place of work. You wouldn't want us to come to your work and give you a hard time. But I think, genuinely do come here with the best intentions to make it a great day, and we just want to encourage you guys to do what you're supposed to do so that it just all runs smoothly and there's no drama.
I wish that they knew that a lot of the things that they go through, we've gone through already at some point in our life. I also wish that they knew all the things that we prepare them for now is only to help them. Because in the future, life gets a lot harder than just passing high school, for example. And then lastly, I wish they knew that a lot of the things that we tell them, we probably wish we would have heard the same things when we were younger.
So the big thing that I would like the teenagers to know, and this is just everyone, like adults to adults too, is that we are all human. We all have a life outside of work.
And the thing is that when you're an adult, you have a lot more freedom, which is a really good thing. You can kind of do what you want. Nobody's lording over you. You can choose your activities freely. But also, all of the consequences are yours too. All the bills are yours now. All of the potential problems that come up, you have to deal with them. You no longer have mom and dad that you can kind of be like, oh, well, that's, my mom and dad did that. Sometimes you can still rely on parents, but a lot of the stuff is going to be yours.
Yeah.
The second thing is friendship is a lot harder as an adult. You don't just get this random group of people that you're shoved together with all day long.
Right.
So definitely value those friends that you do make. If you really do enjoy their company, make an effort to really keep them in your life. And then if you find yourself as an adult without a group of people in your life, try to find an organization that has some kind of interest to you. People that share your same interests, your same likes and dislikes. It's really important to have that community because it's a lot harder to come by as an adult. The third thing is about teaching.
Right.
Teaching as a job is like if you are the manager of your restaurant, say, and you have a boss that's above you, and you are in charge of all these workers, but everything that your workers do is now your fault. It's your problem. You have to be the one that deals with that. So if your workers don't come to work, if your workers choose not to do the work that you've asked them to do,
If they're tardy to work.
if they're tardy to work, if they choose to do not such a great job on their work because they're just not feeling it that day, it's all on you. So that's the fun part about teaching, is that regardless of what your employees do, somehow it all comes back on your shoulders. So just keep that in mind when your teacher looks really, really stressed out as you're nearing the end of the grading period and wondering, why is my teacher so stressed?
That's why.
That's why. It's true.
So, what do you wish that teenagers knew about what it's like to be an adult or a teacher?
Has anyone done We All Have Our Own Lives?
Do it. It's been said once, but it bears repeating.
Okay. So, like, you've got everything you do after school. Imagine doing all that plus more bills that you have to pay, plus more probably working hours than you do. Plus all the stuff we do for the school that we do at home because we don't get it done here. Because of how many hours it actually takes to plan lessons, get stuff ready, and all that. Not to mention, most of us have hobbies, or at least should teachers have your own hobbies.
That's right.
Like I do sword fighting, and that takes a lot of my time. So.
That's good. Have hobbies. Love it.
Lo que me gustaría que los niños supieran sobre lo que es ser un adulto, la responsabilidad. Porque la responsabilidad viene cuando ya eres un adulto, tienes que pagar renta, tienes que pagar tu carro, y aparte de todo, si tienes familia, pues tienes que crear tu familia. So what I would like for kids to know, if you are an adult, is the responsibility. You have a lot more responsibility. You are responsible to pay for rent, you are responsible to pay for your car, and if you have a family, you're responsible for providing for your family. That's my answer.
Of course, thank you once again to everybody who answered my question. What did you hear from the group that is opposite of you? If you're an adult, what did you hear from the teenagers? If you're a teenager, what did you hear from the adults? I hope you heard from those interviews a little bit more of a perspective of what's going on the other side of this divide that we have between adults and teenagers. What I hope you saw is that regardless of what age you are, or whether you're a student, a teacher, or anything else, that everyone is a human being. We've got 2,300 human beings that have been trying to get along for months now, and of course it's going to get tense. Something we've gotten used to thinking, and a lot of this is true, is that there are two groups of people at a school. There's the group of teenagers, and there's the group of adults who are trying to teach them and run the building. Quite often we think of this as an adversarial relationship, meaning that these two groups are mortal enemies, right? This us versus them mentality is very easy to do. I've heard the same things pretty much over and over in my entire career as an educator. From the teenagers, it's always, oh, these adults are out to get me. They just want to catch me in the act. They're just here to impose rules on us or give us homework and things like that. From the adults, it's always something along the lines of, oh, these kids don't understand this, that, or the other. They're just trying to get under my skin. They're trying to annoy me. They don't really care about their future. They're just here to mess around. But the reality is that we are all human beings. We are all here under the roof of W.T. White High School on the same mission. And that is to learn and teach. That's it. We have the responsibility of teaching you as teenagers the things that you need to know. But students, you have the responsibility as a student to learn those things and to participate in high school in a way that prepares you for that next step. We all have the same purpose, and so there really is no us versus them. It's only us. When we say things like Longhorn pride, that's the kind of thing that I think about. I think about how we are all here to make each other better, how we're all here to build each other up, not tear each other down. So adults, I'm calling us out. And yes, I do mean us, because I can be cranky right along with the rest of them. We have to, as adults, lead with understanding first, knowing that the short amount of time that we see these students is not their entire lives, that there's stuff going on before and after we see them, and to be understanding of what they may or may not be going through. We have to lead by example. We have to show them what it looks like to solve problems and go through disagreements without getting too emotional. We have to remember that only by building relationships with these students, only by showing these students first that we care about them and want the best for them in the way that we interact with them, only by doing that first can we actually teach them what we are charged with teaching them? Teenagers, I'm calling you out too, all right? It takes two to tango. You are not anymore in elementary school. You're no longer a small child. You have more and more responsibility every day. And so you have to start taking that responsibility in the way that you act, in the way that you treat others, in the way that you treat teachers, in the way that you treat yourselves. Real life is on the way. High school, I know it feels like it right now, but it's not real life. High school right now is a practice run for real life. And once you get out there, there's none of the safeguards that we have in high school for you. And so we want you to learn these lessons now where it's safe. Everybody, adults, teenagers, whoever you are, needs to take responsibility for themselves. I have to take responsibility for myself. And if we all do that, I believe that our interactions will get better. We'll have more understanding of people on the other side of the aisle from us. And this school will continue to do what it's been doing all year, which is become a better place. I encourage you guys to have the discussion with your advisory teacher on the next slide. There's a little bit more of an extension to the discussion that was started here. Have a great weekend. Be good to yourself and others, and we'll see you on Monday.